Okay. Hi guys, how you going? Welcome to my channel. I'm just kidding, I'm not doing that. I am here today to answer all of your Q&A questions that you guys sent through. I got so many more than I was expecting, which is awesome. I'm so thankful. I think I got like 500 questions over like here and Facebook and stuff, which is awesome. So huge thank you for that. However, I'm not going to sit here and answer 500 questions or you will get really bored, I think. I haven't really read them yet because I didn't want to prepare them. I wanted it to be kind of straight off the bat for you guys. I'll just get through as many as I can today, and then I might do a part 2 next week or maybe the week after. I don't want to be pumping these out too often because I know that'll get a little bit boring. But yeah, let's start. What age did you first race? I started racing when I was 11. In go-karts. Growing up was always on motorbikes or skiing or doing something motorsport related. It all came through from my dad. He was racing ski boats when my brother and I were younger, and then dad had a huge crash and was in a pretty bad way afterwards, so the family was kind of like, okay, no more boats. So as soon as dad was good enough again, he went out and bought a go-kart for himself, and I think that lasted about 6 months before my brother and I were like, hello, where's ours? I had to wait till Jordan was 7. He's 4 years younger than me, so I wasn't 11 until I got into a kart, which is a lot later than most of my competitors. Everyone sort of started when they were like 6 or 7. Got a go-kart when I was 11 and probably didn't race till I was 12 and a half, maybe. We just did some club stuff, nothing too crazy for the first couple of years. It wasn't really till I was about like 14 maybe that we sort of started really getting into it. And then I moved to Aussie racing cars when I was 17. I had my first race at Phillip Island in 2016. Who are your driving heroes, male and female? That's a good one. Female, definitely Tatiana Caldron. I think she's such an inspiration and she really is, I guess, like at the top for women at the moment. Male? I don't know, there's so many. I don't know, I really wouldn't be able to pinpoint just one. But yeah, Tatiana is fantastic for women, so definitely her. Do you have a full-time job and how do you balance the time away racing? I was working full-time. I have been working full-time since I was 16. I left school and did my certificate 3 in business administration and have been working full-time at Newcastle Auto Electrics for the past sort of 3 years. Now I do a lot of driver training as well with Driving Solutions, and I do some it's stunt driving, but I wouldn't really call it stunt driving, for a couple of like photo shoots and ads. So there was a TV ad that we did for Hyundai, and we've done a lot of like Audi magazine stuff. I was away on the weekend doing a bit of that. It was really cool. We just traveled up the coast in an Audi and took a few photos. It's so cruisy. The Driving Solution stuff is really cool as well. We do some stuff in schools and we do some stuff with Ford and Subaru, like a whole range of stuff that we do. What was the end of that question? How do you balance the time away racing? I'm not full-time at Newcastle Auto Electrics anymore. In fact, I'm not there at all with COVID-19 going on. I lost all of my work due to COVID-19 back in March, and in the last couple of weeks I've actually picked up a nighttime cleaning job, just so I'm getting some kind of income. I'm just hustling my way through like everyone else at the moment. So time away for racing isn't that big of a deal, as everyone I've always worked for has kind of always known that racing is my priority and racing's gonna come first. It's been pretty easy getting time away. Do you want to race other forms of racing other than Aussie racing cars? Yes, definitely. We really wanted to sort of make it further towards the front in that before we stepped up. This year we were hoping to do a few races in 86s, which is where we've looked at going for the last couple of years, but that would definitely be our next step, would be 86s. And just anything. I've done obviously a bit in the Super Utes and the Sangyongs over in New Zealand, so anything I can get my hands on, I'll do. Is it true a random karting dad secured your hair into a ponytail with a cable tie just before the final at Newcastle? Yes, Tony, that is true. My hairband snapped on the grid right before a final in go-karts at Newcastle Kart Club. And I was like, oh no, what are we gonna do? I can't put my hair up. And then Tony came over with a cable tie and just zip tied my hair into a ponytail, chucked my helmet on, good to go. Innovative. Oh. This is a good one. I know you're frustrated with the way the W Series picked its drivers for the first season, but since you clearly had the speed, would you ever consider having another try at making the grid? I don't even really know the answer to that myself. It was super frustrating because just not myself, but a few of the other girls as well clearly did quite good and weren't taken through to the next round. When we got our results back a few weeks later, all of my results were in the top 30% out of everyone, and they took more than 50% of girls through to the next round. So none of that was ever really explained very well, didn't make any sense, and it was really disappointing. I originally went over there just to have fun and was blown away that I even made it through to get over to Austria in the first place. But I did do really well whilst I was over there, so I did get my hopes up over the couple of days, and then it was pretty crushing to not get through, and then especially a few weeks later to get my results back and be in the top 30%, so clearly be in front of girls who did make it through, was super disappointing and just really confusing. And would I try out again? I don't know. Yeah, I also don't think that there should be a whole category for women. Like, fair enough, I tried out in the first place because the prize pool is huge, and who doesn't want a free season racing in Formula 3? Like, you'd be stupid not to try out if you could. But I really disagree that women need to be separated in racing. There's zero reason for it. The car doesn't know if it's a male or a female driving it, so why should we have our own separate series? Like, women are always like, oh, like, we don't want to be like treated differently. Why do you need your own category then? I don't know. That might have come across a bit rude, but that's my thoughts. Okay. What sort of car is your daily? I have two. So my daily now is a little Nissan Tita. It was actually my grandma's car. It's great on fuel. It's a good little get around car. But I also have a 1993 Toyota Supra, which is just sitting in the shed at the moment because she got a little bit too expensive on fuel. But she's my absolute baby. I've wanted her since I was like 13, and then I bought it a couple months after I turned 18. Her name's Tallulah. And she's silver. She's just a weekender. She's not even registered at the moment. She's just chilling, but that's my baby. Is it only the guys who are asking questions? Why aren't the girls? Where are my girls at? That is great. Thank you, Dave. I would like to know that also. Why I don't have girls asking me questions. Would you consider going overseas to further your career currently? Definitely. I guess that's what I did when I went over to Austria as well, and when I went to New Zealand last summer and did some racing over there. But I would go anywhere if I could further my racing. If there was an opportunity in Asia or Europe or America, I would go there for sure. Would you consider racing in TCR? Definitely. I tested a TCR car November 2018, back before they started racing, and it was really cool. It was the first time I'd ever driven anything on slicks though. I think it was before I drove the Super Ute too, so it was the first time I'd driven like a real size car on a track besides the Aussie car. So I didn't have enough like experience under my belt to really feel it too well, but I loved it and I really enjoyed it. It was at Eastern Creek and it was really cool. I only did like 5 or 6 laps in it, but I would definitely consider racing it if we could get a budget together that large. What's your favorite racetrack to drive on? Ooh. In Australia, Gold Coast, 100%. That is my absolute favorite track. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's my favorite. It's super ballsy. I don't know, you just have to have guts and just trust yourself that there's not going to be a huge crash around the corner because you can't see anything, so everything's totally blind. But it's really fast for a street circuit too. I love it. It's like definitely my favorite. But my all-time favorite track would probably be Hampton Downs in New Zealand, the full track, not the shorter track. We raced there in Aussie cars about 3 years ago now, and I had my first win there as well, actually, in the Aussie racing car. But even if that didn't happen, it would still be my favorite track. It's so cool. Everything about it's really great. I've raced the Sangyong there as well, and even the Sangyongs were really awesome to race on that track. It is fantastic and so much fun. When do you think you'll be back in the Beast? I don't know. I don't think anyone really knows at this stage with Aussie cars. Supercars just announced that they're going back, so that's really cool. TCR's going back. Pretty much everything in America's gone back, so it's everything's definitely starting to come back to normal, but because Aussie cars are quite heavily dependent on TV, I guess. Like I know all my sponsors depend on me having them on a TV screen and having the TV time. So I don't know, they might run a couple of smaller races where there's no TV time, but we personally probably wouldn't be able to justify doing those races because our sponsors are so reliant on the TV time that they get. So I would say at this stage it'll be next year unless Supercars bring back supports by the end of the year, which I'm really hoping they do, because Sandown is the only track in the country that I've never raced on, and we had a round there this year, which I was so excited about, and that's now been pushed back to November. So I have like a tiny little bit of hope that we'll be on track before then, because I really, really would love to do Sandown. But yeah, we'll see. Everyone's in the same boat, so I can't be complaining, but we'll just have to see what happens. Are you a savory or sweet gal? Definitely savory, but I love chocolate. I don't eat lollies or like biscuits or like cake and stuff. I did bake a chocolate cake last night though, but that's different because it's chocolate. But I love pasta. I live off pasta and steak. So definitely savory, but I am obsessed with chocolate. Like, addicted to chocolate. It's bad. Do you have any merch we can buy? Currently, no. I need to set up a section on my website so that you guys can actually buy merch, because I've only sold merch for Newcastle. I've done that for the last 3 years, but it ends up taking up so much time because we have to design it all and everything. We get them delivered normally about a week before the event. And then I spend that whole week just scrambling, like posting them out. And then I've always got like my grandma and mom and my stepmom and all my little cousins and all that standing like behind a table selling them at the track. And then they don't get to enjoy the weekend, and they all want to because it's Newcastle. So it is really, it's very time consuming. So I haven't really looked further into it, but I'm going to set it up so that I can just have like an online shop for you guys, and you can get it on. I'm going to get some hats done and maybe some other stuff. I don't know yet. And I don't know when that'll be, but I definitely have intentions to do it. I'm 16 and wondering how to get into Aussie racing cars. Is it something I'm interested in but don't know the process? So I was super lucky. We met Darren Chamberlain through karting, and we were just sitting at the track one day, and he said, and I don't know, a conversation just sparked between him and Dad about me jumping in the Aussie car for a test day, and then I did. And we never really were intending on racing it. We just kind of did it for a bit of fun and just to see what I would be like in a car. And this was, I think, 2 or 3 weeks before Clipsal 500 in 2016. I loved it, but there was no way that I was going to 3 weeks later jump into a street circuit for my first ever race in a car. I'm pretty sure I only had my L's at the time. I don't even think I was allowed to drive a road car by myself. So yeah, we made the decision to skip Clipsal 500 and go straight to Phillip Island. But that's how we got into it. We just were lucky enough to have a friend in the category, but it's so easy to get into, and the category managers are really helpful, and there's always people out there that are willing to help. So just reach out to one of the teams or reach out to Aussie Racing Cars themselves, and yeah, pretty simple. It's a really, really awesome category. So I would definitely suggest doing it. And maybe starting go-karts first if you're not already doing that. Alright, well, I think that is enough for today. I don't want to bore you guys. I will do some more next week or sometime, and I'll chuck it up for you. I also want to start doing some other videos. I'm new to the whole like vlog thing, so I don't really know what I'm doing. So if you guys have any other ideas of what you want me to do, what kind of content you guys want to see, I am more than happy to give it a go. Let me know what you want, chuck it in the comments, send me a DM, tell me via pigeon mail, I don't care. Just let me know what you want to see, and I will try and sort it out for you. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry if it was boring. I'm sorry if I talked your ear off and went for way too long. But yeah, super grateful that you guys sent all your questions in. If you have any more, send them through, and or if you want me to like elaborate on anything I've said, send that through as well, and I will try my best. Thanks guys, bye.